I have lived my life searching for my place, for meaning, searching for where I fit in, when in fact it was what made me different. It was what made me stand out from the rest that was special. See, today I am here to make visible the invisible. G'day and welcome. My name is Matt De Gruchy. I'm happy to be here. I'd be happy to be anywhere. Please do not Google my name. As luck would have it, I happen to share the same name as a serial killer. I can't live up to this. This is a conversation I am having with Google as we speak. Now, I may appear to be your average 20-something guy. I like music, to travel, a beer with mates, explore the world, Doritos, and all that cliche stuff that hurts your ears. My number one passion is, however, to use my platform to be a reason for good. But what if I were to tell you that I cannot see anyone in this room? In fact, I can barely see this very stage I walk upon. Now, society would have you believe that someone like me would look something more like this. Today, I am here to talk about ability and how we view it globally. But more importantly, to be a voice in a world where people with a disability are not always heard. I grew up in a middle-class, tight-knit family. Life was good. I loved Harry Potter and even once thought it would be a fantastic idea to fly a broom off our house. Luckily, I did not make it that far. I also once thought I'd become a barber and continue to shave the front of my nose off. I was into so much mischief that the teachers thought I lived in an abusive household, forever with an egg or a bruise on my head. Life was hectic, chaotic, adventurous, but it was perfect. No dream was too big to achieve. Life was more about saying yes and less about saying no. Then, one day, there I was. I was sitting in an optometrist's office and I couldn't read the visual eye chart. Like, my vision just wasn't working. It was gone. How could this be? The optometrist who examined my eyes, he was so frustrated with me. Clearly, I'm not concentrating. Am I faking it? Or am I just playing a prank? Or being a little attention seeker? Finally, after some time, he was furious at this point. He turned and he looked at my mother. He then said, "If your son can't read this, he must be a retard." I was 9 and I was labelled a retard by a professional at a very young, impressionable age. This moment was the catalyst for how I would view myself for years to come. Finally, after 18 long months, after appointment after the other, misdiagnosis after misdiagnosis, we had it. I was diagnosed with Stargardt's macular dystrophy, Stargardt's disease. There is no treatment. This disease is incurable. You will never drive a car. You may never see your future children's faces. You'll forever be missing pieces of that puzzle. The people around me at the time were describing my future as looking rather bleak. In most cases, the likelihood is that I will lose all but 2% of my vision. My sight currently sits at between 4 and 5% on whether I'm having a good or bad eye day. My central vision is non-existent. I only see through my peripheral and not very well. A bright coloured blur, a messy Picasso masterpiece, is more what it's like to see through my eyes opposed to the stereotype that we who are blind see only black. This could not be further from the truth. Although at the time of my diagnosis, I was mostly devastated that I may not be able to watch The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons, still do. But deep down, I really couldn't comprehend what was happening. I was shitting myself. Something so surreal that haunted me for a long time was that you can be completely fine and then you can have something taken from you. Not a car, a house, or your favorite discontinued chocolate bar, but a sense. I had no choice in this situation. And at 9 years of age, how was I to think? In the months to follow, it was like a switch turning off. I was losing sight rapidly. Consumed by anxiety and fear, I decided to hide my disability from the world. And no one should feel that way. I was scared of the bullies. I was scared of being different, to be picked on. School became hard for me. I hated it. Not because I was there to learn, but because I never truly felt like I fitted in. Like it would have been easier to send me to the special school rather than include me alongside the regular kids. Some teachers were amazing. They really were. Shaz, Joe, Miss Newton, you guys know who you are. But every year began a new set of educators unaware and frankly sometimes uninterested in helping me out. I still remember this day. It was the last day of school, and somehow I'd stumbled my whole way through that year without my teacher knowing I was going blind. That's how good I was at hiding this disability. I used to be the kid that could sit at the back of the class and read the blackboard with ease. And now I couldn't see it less than a couple feet away. We live in a world where people with a disability are looked at as less than. It's cold and it's dark there. Somehow people confuse our disability with who we are, when in fact it's just one aspect of that. We instantly acclaim the stigma that because we're disabled, we're now unapproachable. I've been fortunate enough to have met many amazing people, various capabilities. And one thing that rings so true to the people I speak with is that far more often than not, we are always pushed to the back of the queue, meaning that the so-called normal people in society always take first reserve. Right now, I'd just like you to all imagine yourselves in the shoes of someone else with a different set of advantages or disadvantages. Now imagine being seen as you go through your daily life by the people around you as no more than the disability you appear to have. And the double-edged sword to this is that not all disabilities are even visible. I'm a perfect example of this. You can never truly judge someone off appearances. So why do we do it? It's never been about the pity. We've never wanted to be covered in bubble wrap. All that we ask is for a spot alongside the rest, rather than to be sectioned off into our place. There was a time when I would be at a job and I would hide under the register to read a label or price something out because I had to look so close. The snarky remarks, the rolls of the eyes, the you need to get glasses, you should get your eyes checked. The comments were thick. These weren't done in a jokingly manner, and I'm all for that. I'm referred to as the blind friend Matt most of the time, and I love that shit. But it's the people that make you feel so small. It's those people that make you feel like you're a bad person for having something wrong with you that was never your decision in the first place. If I had $1 for every time I was asked, how many fingers am I holding up, I'd be a wealthy man. Another more shocking example was when I was managing this store at the time, and there's this lady, and she's waving her hands vigorously, trying to gain my attention so I could politely inform her that yes, it is indeed a 1 packet of toilet paper per person kind of day. Rona times. My co-worker politely informed the lady that yes, I'm indeed the manager, and that no, there is no point waving your hands like a mad person from 10 meters away because he won't see you. He's blind. Well, she was not happy with that one little bit. She continued to point out that in my condition, I should not be a manager, that is ridiculous. Then, after she felt better about herself after correcting society, she stormed off and sent a letter of complaint. Ouch, what a burn. Bloody retail. Thanks, Karen. The reality is that these are just some of the examples that I have experienced as a legally blind man. I'm not alone in this. No two disabilities are the same, and everyone's circumstances and situation is unique to them. Before judgment, how about come up and ask us a question? What's our favourite colour? I speak for our community that we who are dealt a different deck of cards in life, we have to work just that little bit harder. We have to prove ourselves just that little bit more. We have to fight for doors to open for us. Are we fighting the losing battle? Or are we succeeding? And we as humans, the world, society, we hop on the latest trend, we post a status, change the profile picture, We do all these things to convince ourselves that the world is a fair and just place. But yet somehow we have never valued perfection and expected nothing less than what we do right now today. I hate to use this word, but discrimination never went away. We just got smarter at hiding it. I'm not here to hard sell you some notional way to be. I'm not really here to sell you anything at all. It's to be a voice in a world that is already so loud. It's planting that seed in people's minds, and it's watching it grow. So the next time you're down the street, you're at your job, anywhere in any place, you happen to see someone who appears to be different, who appears to be disabled, I want you to witness how you perceive that person to be. See what your thoughts do. Are we capable? Are we valuable members of society? Are we less than? Would you come up and say g'day to us on the street? Or would you walk straight past us? Would you give us a go? One thing above all else that I am most grateful for is that I don't meet people and judge them off the way they look or how popular they are, how many likes they got on their profile picture, how successful, how capable. I don't see any of that because none of that shit matters. I see the person for who they actually are, because living my life blindfolded to the world around me allows me to experience everyone as equal. And what a gift that is. We are all in this together. And yes, I know that that's a cliche. I know it is. But it's true. It's each and every one of us. Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't expect you to go and have an epiphany, live in a forest and hug a tree for a year. If that's your thing, go for it. Creating a more inclusive environment for us all to live in can be as simple as starting that conversation. It's everyone that's hearing this story now, that perhaps watches this video later, that instead gives someone who may be disadvantaged a fair go when previously they may have overlooked that person. I don't want to live in a world where we are defined by the visible and made to feel invisible. I want to live in a world where we are celebrated for our differences, our uniqueness. I want to see a world where we do not focus on the disability, but we instead focus on the ability. Rather than write us off, ask us the question, how can we assist you to overcome your barriers? How can we help you, but without judgment, but with complete kindness and empathy in our hearts? We don't bite unless you want us to. We are the able-disabled community. We who are some of the kindest, most compassionate, hard-working, problem-solving people on this planet today. Because through adversity we grow. And with a little bit of goodwill and courage, we too can achieve greatness. Ability, not disability. Thank you.